As a real estate investor, if you don't establish credibility with a motivated seller as quickly as possible, within minutes of a conversation, your chances of getting a deal go like this. And that's because they're talking to other real estate investors. They are talking to you, and at the same time that you're trying to get information from them, they're sizing you up. And they are going to very quickly come up with, in their mind, whether the hypothesis of whether or not you are legitimate, whether you are credible, and whether or not you know what you're doing. So in this video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you 3 things that you can implement in your real estate business that you can put in place. They're not going to cost you a ton of money, that are going to set the foundation for you to be able to establish credibility. There's a bunch of other stuff, but it's like a house. You can't do anything, you can't build a house without a foundation. And what I'm going to give you here is a foundation. And most importantly, I'm going to give you a foundation to build on that is based on today's time. You know, yes, there are, in the past, you could have maybe said, hey, I'm going to register my company with the corporate entity here in the state of Florida. I'm going to register it with a BBB, and I'm going to, have some business cards printed up, and I'm going to have some flyers. And you can certainly do all those things, but we're in the digital world, right? Who uses the yellow pages anymore? I don't. I use it as a doorstop. I use it maybe to fend off evil people coming into my house and trying to rob me. Not that that happens, but that's what I would use it for. So let's talk about the digital age and what is required for you right now as a real estate investor. So number 1 is going to be your website. Now, with regards to a website, I am talking about specifically a website that is specifically for motivated sellers. Because you can go out there, you can create a variety of different websites. You can buy website packages from people, and they'll try to sell you a package for buyers, a package if you want to go get private money, or you want to get money for your transactions. And what I'm talking about here is a website for sellers, that if a property owner is going to go ahead and visit your website, first of all, when you tell them that you have a website, that now establishes your credibility. So we're always talking about the little things that we stack on top of each other that now build this foundation. So then now we're talking about the website. The website is something that you should have. That replaces the business card almost nowadays, because you can now have a business card, but you can in fact have a website. Now, with a website, again, has to be specifically geared toward motivated sellers. That means that when they land on the website, you're not advertising your properties, you're not doing anything other than trying to convince a prospect that yes, these are the benefits of you selling your property to me. These are my credentials. These are the various things that I have that I can help you with. And now they feel that they are in the right place. It's very important. Now, the first question that comes to mind is that, hey, how much should you pay for this website? Should you build this yourself? And I get this question all the time. And a lot of times real estate investors make a poor decision, and maybe you thinking about this too, is that, hey, I'm going to build a website. I'm going to just build it myself. I'm going to go learn and go to GoDaddy and sign up for one of their websites. And then I'm going to try to write up, a couple things here or there. And now you end up spending, and I've seen this happen many times, you end up spending weeks and weeks and weeks just trying to put this thing together because you're not a tech person and you're trying to learn, WordPress, or you're trying to learn HTML, and you're trying to, put it all together. And then in the end, okay, you might go and spend, a couple weeks putting this together. You might be successful, but in the end, it looks like crap. First of all, and also the words, right? Because you're not a wordsmith, you're just starting out, so you may not know exactly how to say particular things in the best way. So in the end, it's gonna be a crappy website, and all that you did just to save yourself maybe $20 a month, perhaps, because it's still gonna cost you. It's gonna cost you some money. You're just trying to save a few dollars, and I think that is misguided. I'm a big fan of going ahead and finding out who the best provider is of that particular platform, of that particular website that you're looking for, and just taking out your credit card, paying some money, waiting a few days, and now it's done completely. You don't have to worry about it. It's using best practices, and now you can go on with the most important parts of the business, which is going out and finding motivated sellers. So what I've done here is there is a link in my description For my recommendation when it comes to a website provider, it's the same one that I use for my own personal real estate investing business. So I'm not telling you to do something that I'm not doing. Even me, I'm very technical. I know HTML. I know how to build websites. I know about WordPress. I know about all those things, but I didn't do it. So if I don't do it, why should you do it? It makes no sense whatsoever. So that's number one, is you need a website. Number two is you need a Facebook presence. What I mean by that is you have a Facebook account, right? Your personal account. You go and look at cat videos, and you go and say hi to mom, and you do all that stuff on Facebook. What I'm talking about is creating a business persona on Facebook. And so the way to do that is that you're going to go to Facebook, and you're going to go ahead and create a business page. That's what it's called. And the business page is what represents you inside of the Facebook ecosystem. So, if you think about it, the website is for everybody in the world, and then there's Facebook, and Facebook then requires, it's like their own little version of the website, and it's your business page. There's a couple ways of building that business page, and you could build it with a company name. So let's say that my company name was, XYZ Home Buyers, or, Sell Fast Home in Florida, Cash LLC, or whatever your company name is. The way that I created my business page is Cris Buys Houses. That is my page. It has my picture on it. It has images of me and my family. Because at the end of the day, people want to know that you're credible, but at the same time that you have to start also simultaneously building that relationship with that customer prospect, so that they feel that, hey, this is a human being. This is a person that maybe I can trust. And so now the Facebook page is one of those other items that that they can look you up, and now they can find you. Now the great thing is that with Facebook, it doesn't cost you anything to build a business page. So if you wanted to, you can have one under your company name. You could have one that says Cris Buys Houses, for me, for example. So you could have two of them, and again, they're just different credibility pieces that help a seller know that, okay, yeah, this is a legitimate person. Look, they have a website, they have a Facebook presence, etc. Another one that is within the ecosystem for Facebook is having an Instagram account. So I would use an Instagram account, name it the same way as you have your Facebook account. So Cris Buys Houses and Cris Buys Houses on Instagram, and post some photos. Post photos and videos of you being in front of houses, of you giving tips to the sellers on things that they could do to be able to sell their property quickly. And, hey, here's some of the reasons why someone would want to sell to an investor versus, selling through an agent, etc. And now you build up that social profile. So now you have a way to then be able to not only communicate with sellers, but also to show them, hey, I'm a person out here. I have these things that show you that I am a legitimate business out there trying to serve the community. And so again, having a website and also having a presence on Facebook is essential. So you can go right now and create a business page on Facebook and put some images, put a banner up there, and now you have that there. And now you can put that on your website. So now when people go to your website, there's a link there for them to go to Facebook, and they say, oh, look, they're on Facebook too. So now let's talk about number 3. And this is where a lot of real estate investors really are not playing any game at all. And if you can get this here, then it's going to put you head and shoulders above the competition. And that is a YouTube channel. Now, when I say a YouTube channel, you see me here on YouTube, and I'm pushing out videos to the entire world, to the whole United States. And so, but that's, and so I'm doing content in that way. What I want you to do is create a local, a YouTube channel that is for your house business. You're not out there looking to acquire, 10,000 followers or 20,000 subscribers. What you're trying to do is establish credibility again. And so then let's say that you are going to be recording. You take your phone, I'm using a phone right now to record this video for you. So you take your phone and you're going to record a series of videos. I recommend 3 at the minimum, but let's say that we do 5 videos. And on those 5 videos are going to be, anywhere between 3 to 5 minutes. I wouldn't worry too much about whether or not they're going to be perfect. Don't worry about that. I'm, again, recording them with my phone over here. I'm using a microphone right now. So you can just buy a $20 microphone on Amazon, attach it to your phone, and off to the races you go. And in those videos, be yourself. And a lot of people get hung up on video and they say, well, gee, I got to make sure the script is right. And what if I make a mistake? Then I got to edit. Don't worry about that. Just you record the video. If you mess up, you record it again. after a couple times, you're going to come up with a version that you're going to say, okay, I'm good with this. This is pretty good. It's good enough for now. And in those videos, you're going to cover, I would say my recommendation is discuss objections. If you're talking with the seller, what are some of the objections that they would have? Well, maybe I'm thinking about listing it with an agent. Maybe that's an objection that they're having. So a video could be, hey, here are the top 3 reasons why you would want to sell your home to an investor versus a real estate agent. Reason number 1 is that the fact that now you don't have to show it to people and have all these people coming through the house. You don't have to deal with getting a loan, or having the buyer get a loan from the bank. And so therefore now it's going to take months and months. And so that's one video. Then you go through and you get the objections that a seller would normally have when it comes to selling their property, and then you take those and you record them and you put them on the YouTube channel. And the name of the YouTube channel could be Cris Buys Houses. And so now you have an entire presence on the internet when it comes to your real estate business. Now, here's the thing with YouTube. The great thing is that you can now send links to those videos that you have on YouTube to prospects. So let's say you talk to a prospect over the phone and you say to them, hey, this is Cris from blah blah blah.com, and and Cris Buys Houses on Facebook, and calling you back about the property, and wanted to get some information from you to see if it might be a property we might consider buying or making you an offer. And so let's say you have the discussion with the seller, and in the whole scope of that discussion with the seller, they mentioned to you that, yeah, I was thinking about listing it with an agent. I don't know, maybe I will, maybe I won't. Okay, great, no problem. So let's say you get off the phone with the seller, because now you got to do your research. And now what you can do is you can send a text message to the seller and say, oh, Mary, by the way, I know that we talked about you potentially thinking about listing with an agent. I did a video on that on my YouTube channel, talking about some of the pluses and the minuses. Here's the link to that. Now, all of a sudden, think about that. You're still in the process of calling them back and following up. But now they click on the link and now they go through and watch that video. They may watch a couple more videos. And now, all of a sudden, when you are in the midst of speaking and negotiating with them, you've got a tremendous amount more credibility than other investors, because what other investor is going to do that is going to have a YouTube channel. And now the seller is going to feel that they know you. I always say that, the first time you call a seller, you have to tell them who you are. The second time you have to again, tell them who you are, because they don't remember you. The third time, you're like, you remember me, this and that, and we talked about this and that, and they're like, oh, yeah, I do remember. At some point, you want to get to the point where with a seller, you say your name and they say, oh, hey, Cris, how you doing? That's what happens when you have these items in place, because you're telling them that you're credible because you have a website. You are demonstrating them your knowledge in the market and and your experience as a real estate investor, and you're showing that to them by them watching your videos and watching your content. And now that's going to give you an upper hand with other real estate investors. But at the bare minimum, it's now going to put you in a position where you have established that initial credibility with the seller within 24 hours of contact with them. And now you put yourself in a position where, hell, now I've got a chance. Now I've got a standing chance. You still got to know how to talk to sellers, right? You still got to do the rest of the business. I'm not saying that it's going to be like, a unicorn that's going to pop out of the sky and deliver to you deals. We know that. But at the end of the day, these are all things that can help you. It's always little things. It's a combination of, success is never one thing. Success is always a combination or stacking of a variety of different things in order to create success. And this is one of the key critical items that you need to have in place if you are wanting to become a real estate investor and wanting to really be able to beat the competition when it comes to deals. So here's the deal. I've got a great video that I want you to listen to that is going to give you some tips on domains, because domains are something that people get horribly wrong. So if you're going to do a website, you need to be able to pick the right domain. And if you're going to have a website and a Facebook profile, you might as well start doing Facebook ads. So I want you to check out this interview that I did where I show you how really powerful it is when you implement Facebook ads in order to find motivated sellers. Check it out.